Hello everyone, welcome to Theologik. This time around, I decided to start by making an introductory video, and while thinking about it, I selected a few questions I thought important to address so you could have a better understanding of the channel and myself. Let's get to them. The first question is, what is Theologik? When I was thinking about making the channel, I wanted to decide the name before anything, and I wanted the name to reflect what I really wanted to do with the channel. And I got to it by combining two Greek words. Let me pull this up. Just a combination of the Greek word theos, meaning God or gods, depending on the context, with the word logike, meaning logic. And by removing the E, it sounds very similar. It's not the same as logic in English, so that was how the name was born. And the meaning behind it is at least the meaning I give to it, is very literally the logic of the gods, and by extension of religion, of religious thinking, of religious operation, and so on. The idea is to think about the gods, to think about religion through a logical lens, to analyze arguments and narratives, to see if there's something hidden or flawed, to think of the consequences of the beliefs. And that doesn't mean someone has to abandon faith for God, or even to abandon the narrative as a reality. At times, I plan to even assume a narrative as real, as many religious people do, and see what interesting consequences will arise from that. Before we move on to the next question, just as a side note, if you Google Theologik, the meaning that will appear will diverge from the one I came up with. And I will pull it up. Here we go. So the meaning the Google AI is giving is theologic is a less common variant of theological, an adjective meaning of or relating to theology, which is the systematic study of religious faith, experience, and belief, especially concerning to God and the divine. And that's not the intention of the channel. Because while theology, in this sense, which is the most important term in this whole paragraph, assumes God is real. And to think logically about, we don't assume, we question it. And that's the objective, at least one objective, of the channel. So, with that clarified, I'd like to once again welcome you to Theologik, to the logic of the gods, to the logic behind the gods. The second question is, who am I? My name is Ikan Dracon and I'm from Brazil. First, I'd like to say this will be a very brief introduction to what I consider relevant information, so you can have an idea of who is on this side of the screen, and I won't go in detail about many aspects today. With that said, I have a background in theology, have been exposed to religion, in my case Christianity, since I was about 10 years old. At some point, I wanted to become a missionary, and since that pathway usually requires men to become priests, I enrolled in a seminary, college, and began working towards a bachelor's in theology. While I was in college, I had the opportunity to get in contact with what I see as a hidden world. I still see it today. That's why I didn't say what I saw as a hidden world. And that fascinated me. It was such a huge amount of information that in over a decade being a Christian I had never heard of, never knew existed. It was information consigned to the halls of academia, to the ivory towers. Today with YouTube, things are getting better. The information is out there, but it was a little over a decade or so ago. That wasn't the case. And as my fascination grew, my desire to become a missionary and a priest faded. Not my belief in God. That would be a year or so after I conclude my bachelor's. Anyway, since I had always excelled in academia, I decided to pursue a career in the field. With that in mind, I enrolled in a master's program on the path towards a PhD. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I believe both, things didn't go quite as planned, and by the end of my first year, I grew very disillusioned with academia, to the point that I ended up dropping from the program. And on a more private note, or I'd say personal, because I do consider everything private, at least I did at some point. I've always been a very shy, very introvert person. One that put quite an amount of weight on privacy. Maybe even to the point of overvaluing it. And that left me with very low social and even verbal abilities. It's not because I'm speaking in English. Even my mother tongue, Portuguese, it's not very good. So, this channel is a huge challenge for me. It's funny because the moment I sit in front of the mic, I get nervous. Like, I'm not talking with anyone. There's no one here, but still I get nervous. And you probably realized by now, sometimes I have really long pauses that are, in a lot of cases, very improperly placed. And that's an example of this nervousness. Oh. But instead of doing nothing, which I was for the past decade or so, I decided to improve myself and finally try to ignore the frustrations, ignore being nervous. try to overthink things less, not be so hung up on mistakes, and other personal flaws, and start the channel. Well, we're starting it now because the original launch was in October last year, but I had some issues with the videos, and hopefully they are now fixed. I mean, in spite of that, I'm having fun. This is quite a way to sell myself, huh? I'm really terrible at it. I have the feeling this little introduction might do more harm than good, but anyway, one of the things I decided is I wanted to be honest and as transparent as possible. So that's it. That's a little bit about the person on this side. Let's go to the third question. The third question is, what is the objective of Theologik? I've addressed this a bit in the previous two answers, but the objective is to analyze religious discourse, narratives, seeking to expose incorrect reasoning, looking for hidden meanings, and trying to prevent the manipulation, or at least its effectiveness, inherent in religion. This is very important. Theologik is not an academic channel. But it doesn't mean you won't have academic elements. As I said, my views on theology and religion were shaped by academic knowledge. They are still being shaped by them. So it's inevitable. It will be present. But this channel is an opinion, a commentary, an analysis channel. And I also find the need to say, and I will repeat this many times, that in very simple terms, I'm of the firm conviction people can believe whatever they want as long as it doesn't infringe on others. So I'm not trying to convert, or better say deconvert, anyone. The way I see it, religion, however, especially the monotheistic ones, constantly violate this right and deny as they do. It doesn't change the fact that religion is a tool for social control. What that means is, religion is politics. And because it is politics, it inevitably tries to exert influence and even control states that are supposed to be secular, and control the lives of those who don't want to live under that thumb. And I don't have a grand ambition that I'm going to change the world. I just want to talk about what I perceive and what interests me. That doesn't mean when I perceive a narrative or religion trying to manipulate us, I will refrain from critique. Not at all. I will present my position, and you are free to choose whatever you want to believe. Let's check it out, an example of, again, because it's an introduction, in very simple ways, what one of the things we'll be doing on the channel. This is a very brief example. Doesn't mean we'll be doing this on every episode. This is just to show what kind of analysis, what kind of critique I might present. While I was preparing for this video, I went to Google because I wanted to check something. And I'm using Google because it's the most common search tool. And I was wondering, because my Greek is a bit rusted, if the word theos could actually also mean gods instead of just God, since the word is singular. So the prompt I used was theos plural. And I had done that on another browser. So when I was preparing to do for the episode, I opened on Chrome and the reply was completely different, and that got me curious. So here's what happened. Let me show you. The first reply was the plural of the Greek word theos, meaning God, lowercase, or God, capital, is theoi, used for multiple gods, while theos itself is singular for one God, capital. Though its usage, like in Hebrew Elohim, can denote majesty or be applied to judges or false deities. And it continues. It's there if you want to check. And I didn't ask for that. You see, I only asked for the plural of a word. And I got a very ideological definition. This, in my opinion, exemplifies how religion operates. Of course, AI models take from sources. And these ones are really bad because although the information is not completely wrong, the plural is theoi, but when you see the meaning of theos is God, lowercase, or God, capital, you already know this has been infected by Christianity, because the word theos precedes Christianity. I believe even precedes contact with Judaism. But here we have it. And not only that, it's already here, false deities. That's why I say, think logically about. If you think logically, what is a false deity? A deity you don't believe in. Especially for monotheists. Polytheists can accept deities they don't worship. But since this is a very brief example, what really fascinated me was I refreshed the page and got another definition. So the plural of the Greek word theos, meaning again capital G, God, or lowercase God, is theoi, and it refers to multiple gods or deities, as opposed to the singular theos for the one true God. Look at this beautiful word, true. And here in that it continues, though theos can also refer to other divine beings or be used in contexts denoting majesty, with plural forms used for Gentile gods in the Bible. I did this 6 times before I stopped. Here we go. I won't read all of them. I leave it open here for a bit, so if you want to check it, you can pause and do it. But most of them are the same thing. This one, we have again capitalized G, as seen in the Bible. This one is not so bad, by the way. The fourth one, again, contrasting with the singular theos, God, capitalized. Although, again, this one is also not that bad. The fifth one, again, capitalized G, multiple days of false gods. Those are all elements that most people don't realize. Is showing how ideology is infecting what should be an objective reply. The sixth and last one, because I decided to stop here. Again, one true God. And here what I had to do to finally get a decent reply. I had to search theos plural, non-ideological. And this is the only way I got in ancient and modern Greek. The non-ideological grammatical plural of theos is theoi. Definition: theoi simply means gods or deities, in a general sense, often referring to a group of gods such as the Olympian gods. Usage: it is used in both classical, religious, and even secular metaphorical contexts, e.g., in modern Greek, to describe idols or colloquially very handsome men. And continues a bit more technical details. This is not, again, I chose this because I thought it interesting while I was preparing for the episode, but this is not a bug. This is a feature. On most things that involve religion, you will get an ideological reply. A reply that usually, a reply, a statement, they usually try to manipulate us. So, one of the things I plan to do is to talk about this on important contexts, articles, videos, movies, even preaching, how the reality is, how could I say this very simply today, perverted, conveniently changed, I think it's a good way to put it, to suit the needs of a religion and its operatives. Let me close. And this is what one of the things this channel is about. Finally, the fourth and last question is, what will be the format of the episodes? This is a somewhat difficult question. I'm doing the best I can. This is a one-person project, and I have limitations. But as an improve, even if just my flaws, I do plan to see that transfer to the channel as well. I've been recording now using OBS, so I do plan to present visual elements, but as of now, the episodes will be focusing on the listening aspect. In this introduction, for instance, I put up some searches, and whenever I can, I plan to do that, so you can check it for yourself if you're interested. And I also plan in future episodes to pull images, graphs, and other visual aids, maybe even react to videos, but I will always do my best to describe them, so you don't have to sit down to watch anything. But if you want to take a look, it will be there for you to access. And that's it for now. Really, I don't know, I get the feeling this introduction is probably, again, more harmful than good, but I'm going to post it anyway. If you got to this point, thank you for listening to this. Thank you for your patience. If you can put up with that, and I realize sometimes I get a little confusing. It's the downside of overthinking things. Too many thoughts at the same time. But I do believe I have something to offer in a conversation. So I hope you stick around. And I hope to see you next time.